Oh my god.
that was not at all correct. I figured out a defeat for the full self-driving jail of sorts. What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today we're hopping in a Model S long range. Kyle's back there. He's gonna hop in the back seat, and we're taking Dave's Model S for full self-driving beta. I haven't driven autopilot in quite a while, so curious to see how this is gonna go. One way to find out, we're taking it to dinner. This is a 2021 Model S long range. It's a refresh, not a plaid. Kyle's summoning us back here. And it has full self-driving beta now that Tesla's opened it up, that anyone that purchases or subscribes to it can actually request beta without having to follow safety score and things like that. Yeah, there's no one in the driver's seat there. That parking brake does not sound good. But we're gonna be hopping in, we're taking it to dinner. Dave actually has my Rivian, so if you wanna check that out, that'll be a separate video. And we're just moving it back and forth with the app because we can. And let's see how it takes us to dinner. So we are starting off here on full self-driving beta. We're exiting here. It should come to a complete stop. I'm covering the wheel, covering the pedals here, coming to a complete stop, creeping forward. This is my first time using full self-driving beta. Don't have a ton of experience with a Yoke either. Not a huge fan of the Yoke. Nope, canceling that because it's creeping way too far forward.
Totally agree.
So I think I can re-engage it here, or do I need to go
I would probably cross it manually.
Okay.
That's reverse, and there's people behind us now.
Yep. So I'm in drive. I'll cross. Capacitive buttons here are not fun. Crossing.
This is a really hard street.
Yes.
Even without FSD.
There's just a lot going on here. I think we should be good after these two cars come by.
I would agree.
All right, and then we'll re-engage it here once we get onto the street. And yoke, hand or arm over arm, not ideal, so re-engaging here.
You gotta wait for the blue line to come on. Now you can go.
There we go. Sorry. Speed is, there we go. Yep, let's turn that down a little, just for my own comfort more than anything else. Creep it up here.
In 1,000
Doing a pretty good job of
right
visualizations.
San Marco Road.
I'll just leave that, I guess. Lane keeping is good, as autopilot generally is. Pretty much a straight road here. See if it turns on the signal. This is about where I would signal. Perfect.
Now turn right
moving
onto
over.
San Marco Road.
Much better. Mute that. And we're creeping forward. We've got a green light, so it should be going. There we go. That's a bit aggressive, but okay.
And we are in the average profile, I should mention.
Okay, good to know.
We'll have to check the software version as well.
Yes. I must say, Yoke with FSD beta is not a good combination, in my opinion. This is like trying to catch a square that's spinning. At least with a round steering wheel, you could just have your hands and have it spin through it and catch it at any point, but this is a lot harder to do that. You essentially have to keep your hands off of it rather than being able to have your hands on it ready to take over at any point, which is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. It's asking for light steering force, so I gave it that. It's doing decently so far, aside from that unprotected left. The visualizations are pretty impressive, I must say. How's it feel as a passenger back there?
Oh, back here, I've done plenty of riding in FSD beta. I've sort of figured out when, I can tell it's getting really confused or not. My first drive I was very cautious with it and took over a lot more than I needed to.
Okay.
And now I kind of get a sense of when the car's creeping forward to see. Still definitely many times that I have to take over as a driver, but as a passenger, it's just very aggressive at times and very timid at others. And so you really get It's hard to equate it to like a human age level of driving. It just drives like no human I've ever been with.
Okay. Yeah, because it's not really like a teenager. They're kind of either aggressive or timid all the time.
Right.
They're
It's
not.
a little bit of both.
Yeah. Whereas someone that's more comfortable driving, so it's going through this pretty well. So someone more comfortable driving would either be knowingly cautious or, okay, why are we slowing? Okay. It's just slowing down in the middle of the road for nothing.
And did it accelerate?
I just accelerated.
So you're hitting the throttle right
Yep,
now.
I hit the acceleration pedal. Now we're continuing on at 35 the speed limit, but I have no idea why it was slowing down there.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad earlier about it, and we think it's very likely that you are at higher risk of being rear-ended in this car. So you always need to keep your eyes in your rearview mirror and not let it slam on the brakes if someone's behind you.
Yeah, I would say I'd be more. Yeah, here we go, just slowing down for nothing. That was like a phantom
behind
brake.
us? Let's see what it actually does. If it does
Yeah, there's
slow
no one
down.
behind us, so if it does that again, I'll just let it do it.
Yeah, unless someone's behind us, I'd be interested. 2 cops on the right over here. Don't pull us over for drunk driving. We haven't had any alcohol yet.
0. But this does feel a bit like a drunk driver, essentially, like just doing things that don't make any sense at all. It's strange.
But then some things it does are magically impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't driven with it enough yet to know what that's like.
Yeah.
So far, it's not the most confidence-inspiring, I'd say, but this definitely requires way more attention than if I was just driving, which
Absolutely.
I think kind of defeats the whole purpose. There it was again, and just grazed the brakes for no reason. Yeah, if I was driving, I'd just be cruising along and pretty mindless for this kind of driving, whereas this, I'm like ready to take over for any ridiculous motion it might do. Okay. It's that. Okay,
Oh my god.
that was not at all correct. I took over.
That was so bad. It was like left, right, brake, throttle, left.
Well, and it drove through the wrong left turn lane there. Did you see that?
Yeah. So you put it back on here?
I just put it back on, so we'll see how it
it's
does.
inching forwards, even with those cars cutting so close in front of us.
I would not be inching forward if I was driving for that. So we have a green left arrow. So that was correct. Oh, okay. I took over. I did not want to hit that curb.
Right. It actually,
It probably would have done fine, but
yeah. So,
not my car, and I'm not comfortable with it yet.
yeah, and that's how I was when I first started using it as well. But it should really just go slower when it turns. Why is it
I don't
so
know
aggressive?
why it's so aggressive in turns for no
Totally
reason.
It's wild.
Let's just set a new nav point here. I think that should.
That'll add it, I believe. Yeah.
So we'll just continue if I don't have a nav point set?
Yeah, it'll just go.
Okay.
I've never tried it actually.
Yeah, just continue.
I don't know
while
what
it's
happens
changing
when
it.
you hit a T intersection, how it decides left or right.
Huh. Yeah. But it's doing pretty well here on this road.
So there's nothing really for
I mean,
it to
I mean, this is basically an interstate at 30 miles an hour as far as autopilot or FSD is concerned. I mean, it's marked better than most interstates are realistically.
Yeah.
It's got reflectors and everything. It just has a few brakes here and there for cross streets and driveways. But I mean, it's doing the lane keeping thing fine. Yeah, this is very strange and very far from being useful, I would say.
Yep. I agree. It's really a party trick to show your friends, which is how I've been doing it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you got to see the car do this. And then it's definitely like if I'm just going across town and I don't want to like think about driving, I just drive.
Yeah, because it's way less mental effort.
Yeah. This requires a lot more effort than manually driving.
Yes, let's just see. Let's just go up here and then we'll do a loop. Got a bit of time here.
Nice. Hit that bottom one though. The 5-minute one.
Oh, yep. See how it handles
Yeah,
that little road?
That'll be, I think, an unprotected left back onto the main road.
Yeah, 2 left turns, so that should be interesting.
Yeah. I always try and give it the hardest path.
Because you should.
Well, it's our job.
Yeah, I mean, we're testers. Completely unqualified testers.
That's right. I did not take a safety course when I signed up to try this.
I mean, I would say I'm maybe slightly more qualified than the average person given track driving and everything, but that is a very low bar, and I would not want Joe Schmo off the street that just can spend $200 for a month or $15,000 being able to have this.
Yeah, that's exactly what my dad was saying.
Like, there is no good use for this for a normal person. It's more dangerous than them just driving themselves, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree. But it is really cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's not $15,000.
Well, for $199, it's pretty cool.
Well, if you have a YouTube channel, sure.
Yeah, or even if you don't, just play around with it.
Yeah, true.
Remember when autopilot used to not be able to do hills? It would veer left or right.
I mean, Rivian sometimes does that too.
Yeah, it's really hard for a single camera system to do it until AP2 had the side cameras engaged. It would just flail around on those.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a Rivian Driver Plus disengage a lot on hard downhills, even on the interstate sometimes.
Weird.
But, I mean, the visualizations on this are super cool, I must say.
It sees a lot.
Yeah.
Really sees a lot.
And I mean, the rendering for this in real time is pretty impressive, I must say. Let's see how it does. So we're coming up on this unprotected left. It's not signaling yet. I would probably be signaling pretty soon here if there was someone behind me. There's not anyone behind us, so I'll just let it do its thing. Still not signaling the turns right there. There we go. Hard brake, left signal. We've got oncoming traffic covering the brake. Let's see how aggressive it does. Very aggressive. Oh. All right, I disengaged there because it was just like ripping the wheel out of my hand for that turn. It's so aggressive. And now we're on an unmarked road and we're going faster than I think is reasonable.
But that is the speed limit according to the car.
Was there a sign? I didn't see one.
No, I doubt it's 30 like the car suggests.
Yeah,
There's
I would
no
say
way.
25 or 20 is probably like the statutory limit for a road like this.
Roundabout.
Okay, this should be interesting.
It says 15 suggested for the roundabout.
And it also doesn't see the roundabout in nav.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, it actually did it. I just was holding on too tight. That was pretty impressive considering it's not on the nav.
Yep.
That it handled that and figured out what was going on. It braked a bit more than I thought was necessary there. But then again, I do get a lot of automatic emergency braking for people that are turning.
I'm always so slow for those, and Timon rips so close to people. I just leave everyone so much room.
Well, I also have mine on early, so I'd rather get that than not. So we've got another right turn here, and then we'll have a left turn.
Yep, no one coming, all good.
It's hard to position your hands to properly be ready to grab the wheel here. Again, it's turning. What is it?
Why is it turning here? That makes no sense.
There's literally lines. What is it doing?
That is so weird. But you know when FSD beta people speed up their videos, you don't really notice it doing these weird things?
Yeah. I haven't watched many. I've only watched them like maybe one every couple months because I just don't really care that much to watch those videos. I'd rather just experience it myself. But that was bad. That just straight up drove through lane markings and then was just acting confused. If there were anyone around us, it'd be like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah, have you ever been to the Earth before and watched a car drive?
Because, I mean, it's not even, there was nothing challenging there. It was well marked.
Yeah, but it's just, in my impression, so good, and then so bad in other areas.
Yeah, there's no in between. It's so inconsistent.
Exactly.
So we've got a green light here, but not a green arrow. So
it waited.
Okay, yep, it did fine there.
It should do this just fine.
Yeah, it's being really timid.
It's really good at those.
Okay, yep, did that fine.
It's really good at those.
Probably all the truck videos.
Yep. Yeah, I bet that didn't hurt.
So we're
Now
coming
we've
up
put
on a
in
stop
new station. If it's gonna have us make any moves, it will like yank the wheel at the last second.
Okay, actually it didn't yank it.
Didn't yank it. Sometimes when it catches a nav command and you're close to where it wants to turn, it's just like.
It's just like, we're going.
Yep.
So now we're actually doing a left turn, and then another left turn, and then we'll do an unprotected right.
I've never seen it request to do a U-turn before.
Well, it's not a full U-turn. It's doing like a blocked
Yeah.
square.
I've never
Yeah.
seen. I've tried, but I've never been able to get it to do a U-turn.
It might not be able to read the distance to the curb to see if it can actually do it, and it wouldn't want to do a backup and then continue like a human would if it was too tight, would be my guess.
It's possible, yeah.
Because Model S
Absolutely.
turning circle is not good.
Right.
Well, actually, most Teslas, they're just not that good at
Yeah.
turning circle.
I would agree.
I still find it comical that it shows the yoke as the steering wheel icon, and it basically looks like a game controller.
Love that.
It took me a while to realize what that was the first time I saw it when yokes first started coming out.
Yep.
I was like, what is that on the screen? Like, shouldn't the steering wheel be there? And then I was like, oh, okay. Longest light in existence. See how well it straightens out. I think we should get a green arrow here.
I think we're double left turn lane. Always feels super sketchy on this system because there's definitely not a great marking down the left side.
No.
This guy, human driver in reverse. Imagine if FSD Beta just throws it in reverse.
I would be taking over immediately.
Yes.
I've actually seen a surprising amount of posts recently in some of the car Facebook groups of people that have been backed into at stoplights.
What?
Like multiple people recently.
I have actually seen a few as well. Okay.
I don't understand how that's possible. So I'm trying to not take over here. It was not too aggressive.
Wow, that guy came right into our lane. Oh, and he's busting a U-turn. So the human driver was the problem there.
Yeah. So now we need to get over because we're taking another left. Let's see if it drives through the lane markings. Okay, so here it actually did it fine. It didn't
Perfect.
try and get over too early.
So good.
It actually followed it how it should. Better than most humans probably would. And we have a green arrow. Why are we not turning? There we go.
Wonderful.
That was perfect. Not
Yeah.
aggressive.
That felt so smooth.
Yeah, it was like a human.
Yep.
And-
But braking still for that guy, even though he's cleared our path.
Yeah, and we do have someone behind us, so I'm going to cover the accelerator here.
Yep. It does slow down for speed bumps if we happen to see any, by the way.
Okay. Only if they're marked well?
No, it slows down even, I think, for very poorly marked speed bumps.
Will it read the sign to know it's coming and
No,
follow it?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't know if it's taking suspension data from other Model S and X that have driven past.
Which on Marco Island seems plausible.
Tons of Teslas here.
Yeah. I would say most roads on this island have been driven by newer
Yeah.
cars.
In Alyssa's neighborhood, there's a whole bunch of speed bumps, and when I go over there, it slows down for them.
So came to a pretty smooth stop there. One steering force creeping forward for visibility. And we do have a scooter guy here, and we're in the sidewalk.
And it's doing it.
Yeah, did it fine.
I'm surprised it does right on reds.
Yeah, I would think it would be more cautious than that in beta and not do it.
But Tesla.
Yeah. And now we just have a straight road the rest of the way. So
Should we pause until we get back into Naples, give you a chance to soak in the system a little bit more?
yeah, I think I'll do that. So we'll regroup and join you in Naples.
Cool, sounds good.
And we're resuming here. We drove on a long straight road, and on that straight road I tried to take a picture of the visualizations and figured out a defeat for the full self-driving jail of sorts, the forced interventions, whatever they call them. Turns out if you get one of those and it kills autopilot or full self-driving, just do a reset right after. It doesn't count as a strike.
Yeah, because we were actually, like my dad was mentioning, he's 4 out of 5 on this car.
Yeah.
So 5 out of 5 limits its functionality. And by you doing a double scroll wheel reset, we're back down to 4 again. Just
Yeah.
don't put it in park.
Yeah.
Do it while you're driving.
Yeah, it's similar to when people were having issues with the safety score when they were trying to get full self-driving beta, that if they were out on the track or they drag raced or for whatever reason that drive was a poor safety score, would have been, they would just do a reset before they went into park and it didn't count seemingly. Or I didn't personally experience that, but heard many reports of that and many recommendations of that, and it still seems to be true, which I find actually pretty surprising. I'm surprised they wouldn't have defeated that by now.
I'm glad there's a workaround.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense in theory that you're doing a full reset and it doesn't count that, I guess. I don't know. I think they could definitely...
It's tricking the system.
Yeah, they could definitely keep that, or keep it between resets. There's no reason they can't. They keep plenty of other things between resets. But we're just cruising along here, and overall it's pretty good. For that little bit I drove on my own, and it's definitely way less stressful to just drive on your own than to babysit full self-driving, at least in the current state. Really not a practical product, probably. I mean, I don't know software development cycles with things like this, but I would guess a few years out, realistically, before I would trust it to be able to, I don't know, edit a video while I'm driving along the interstate. And until you're at that point, what's the benefit of it if you're just babysitting it? It's cool that this is available for anyone that's willing to get it, but also probably shouldn't be. It's a very fine balance, because I want to be able to access things like this, but there should be some sort of qualification, and it shouldn't be the safety score, because being basically a grandpa driver doesn't really prove anything of your qualifications to babysit a system like this and know when to intervene. I think those are very different skill sets. That was very aggressive, slowing down for a car way ahead of us. I probably wouldn't slow down at all for that person turning. I don't know if it saw its turn signal. I would hope that it would have, and not.
I don't believe it looks at turn signals.
Okay. It probably should, because I think that's a key indicator of figuring out what other vehicles on the road are doing. Not 100% of the time, because people do use their turn signals accidentally or leave them on way longer than they should.
Would you be able to tell us what software version we're on?
Yes, we're on. Trying to keep my eyes on the road, at least as far as camera's concerned. We're on.
To scroll a little bit.
We're on FSD Beta 10.69.25. So I think this is the latest version as of today. This is what, December 27th, something like that?
Yep, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah, this is a Model S long range, so it has all the latest stuff. This has a radar, I believe.
This car, yeah, I don't know if it uses it at all.
Yeah, I believe it's turned off at this point, but it does have one.
Our friend Ryan is not able to access FSD Beta on his Model S of the same vintage.
Yep. There we go, slowing down again for no reason.
Yep, and they told him that they have to replace his radar before he can use it.
Yeah, he did mention that to me as well. It sounds like it's maybe still in use for automatic emergency braking is the possible explanation there. Really wish this had a capacitive steering wheel. Having had the Volkswagen ID4 and now my Rivian with a capacitive steering wheel, I've gotten really used to that, and having to do the slight little torque on the wheel is pretty rudimentary almost. There's better tech than that. I don't know why Tesla isn't using it, of everyone. It should just be able to detect my hand on the wheel, and that would actually be smarter for them to be able to detect defeat devices, because it wouldn't be conductive. Theory.
Yep.
You could probably defeat it still somehow, but it'd be a lot more elaborate of a defeat device than just a tiny weight on the wheel.
Defeats for everything.
Yeah. But as they become more difficult to implement than just shoving a steering or a water bottle in the wheel for like a normal wheel, or putting a weight on there, less and less people are going to be able to actually take advantage of it and game the system. But I think we'll wrap this video up. It was a very interesting experience, I would say. Good to check it out, kind of see where things are at with full self-driving. I would say if I got a car with it, I'd play with it here and there, but I wouldn't probably use it on a daily basis, because it is more mentally taxing than just driving yourself. Especially on open roads like this, you can just drive pretty effortlessly, I would say. And I don't like having to babysit systems. On the interstate, I absolutely use driver assist systems all the time, unless I want to allegedly go quicker than the speed limits on the systems. But that's a topic for another day. I wish they hadn't reduced the speed limit to 85 on autopilot full self-driving and on Rivian Driver Plus. It should be 90, or the trick to go to 93.
Or BMW 130.
Well, I'm asking for reasonable things here.
The Germans get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Germany, you need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you might actually want to set your driver assist to 120, 130.
It's like
just going down the Autobahn.
Volkswagen Travel Assist goes full speed.
Yeah, I've definitely allegedly had that set to full speed. And it does it fine. Like, I wouldn't necessarily trust Travel Assist at full speed, but it's capable of it
Yeah, and its adaptive cruise goes higher than the top speed of the car.
Yeah, which is
Just running the limiter the whole time.
yeah, just strange programming things. But that, again, another topic for another day.
Yep.
But thank you guys for joining us. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Curious what you guys think of full self-driving beta. Is it useful or is it just a gimmick? I'm in the gimmick boat at the moment, but happy to be proven wrong by Tesla. Time will tell.